right, now to our backstory segment, and President Donald Trump is back in the limelight, but this time for someone else's doing. The anonymous senior Trump official who penned a 2018 New York Times editorial titled "The Resistance Inside the Trump Administration" has now written a book that will be released next month. This time it's titled "A Warning." Communications teacher Fiona Purdon from Griffiths University lifted the lid on this, as well as some of the biggest headlines making entertainment news.
Apparently this opinion piece came out, and it was supposedly from a Trump insider high up, and he just lays into Trump and how, he's how the interesting personality that he is, but
he
the
is a very
inside
interesting personality, no doubt about that.
Trump TV. So it caused such an uproar that this insider has now got a book deal.
Wow.
So, and apparently there's going to be no royalty, there's no advances, and all the royalties are going to go to charity, including the White House Press Association. So I just love these stories. So I mean, it's certain to be a bestseller. Remember the Bill Clinton one back in the 90s
and
with
Michael
Primary
Wolff,
Colours? Michael Wolff.
Yeah, he's done some big things. Everyone's fascinated with Trump. I mean, he's such a fascinating character.
And I love anonymous authors. I always like, how long will it take people to work out who it is? And they reckon it won't take long once the book's out. So I love that speculation. So
we've got a Elvis Presley biopic being filmed on the Gold Coast very shortly, including, of course, Tom Hanks as Presley's manager, Lieutenant Colonel Tom Parker. Now, there's also a biopic coming out on Bruce Springsteen. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Blinded by the Light. Well, this is the latest one. Haven't they gone off? Like Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean,
the Elton one was great.
The Elton one, Rocket Man, and now Blinded by the Light. 4 stars. It's got great reviews. The boss, I mean, he's got such an interesting life, and apparently there's a bit of issue there with his dad. The working class background. I mean, his songs are anthems for the working class of America. So that's going to be a really great one to do.
Speaking of excitement, Star Wars.
Oh, drum roll. So, it's 9 is the magical number in sci-fi fantasy, because it's like 3 lots of trilogies. We had the original trilogy, and then we had the comeback trilogy, and now this is the second coming trilogy. So there's a lot of excitement. The last, I think it dropped last overnight, and there's been so much buzz. There's been so much interest. The big thing is all about, it's called The Rise of Skywalker. So it's all obviously going to be about Rey, who right from the first moments of the first comeback by J.J. Abrams, she sort of, took over. Like, everyone's been fascinated by her story. And there's been a little bit of drama in that the original director had differences with Disney, but J.J. Abrams, who's just amazing. Like, he's been the pop culture guru for movies this century. I can't think of anyone else who's done more. He started off the Avengers, like one of the biggest movies of all time. He did the first Avengers, he did Star Trek, he did the first Star Wars, the comeback of Star Wars 4 years ago. And now they brought him back, SOS. So I think there's a lot of hype, but the big thing about the trailer dropping, the big thing, is that no one knows, is Rey going to be tempted to the dark side, or is she going to be a good, and I don't know, there's a lot of talk because she's got the red lightsaber, and that's dark, that's bad. But some people are speculating that's actually a dream sequence, and that Disney are playing with it, toying with us. J.J. Abrams has talked about how he's sort of drawn on a lot of, background story, and then wanting to tick all the boxes. So he'll do it. He's very safe hands. He'll do a great job.
All right, and finally, what's the latest on Meghan Markle?
Oh, there's always something about Sparkle Markle, isn't there?
There's always something about Sparkle Markle.
I think it's her family. I think that's going to be like fodder for decades to come. And this documentary is a tell-all documentary, and apparently there's been a lot of new information come out. So this is the first time that she's sort of made a public appearance. So, I mean, you do feel sorry for her. And, I mean, we talked about the fact that Prince Harry's sort of, the legal action threat. So, I mean, obviously deep down she must be quite fragile about the whole thing. And I think too, like having a baby, you know, it changes. Beautiful Archie.
Yeah, he's beautiful, isn't he, Archie?
So I do feel sorry for her, but I think in some ways, I mean, she didn't ask to be born to that family, you know. But I think it's just something that she's going to have to live with. I mean, things have quietened down a little bit, especially since the wedding. But I just sort of think it's always going to be there.